Hello everyone, sorry for the bad lighting. It's going to be that way until the sun sets and there's not much I can do about it other than move the camera, and then the camera won't be in a pretty place. Let me drop the camera down where the lighting won't matter and show you what I've been doing on the Raider. This is just a short little update here. The body halves, let's open this up. Someone said this thing goes together very tightly, and now I believe them. You don't want to come back apart. There it goes. Okay. The intakes I primered yesterday and I painted with all-clad steel. Okay. It's a nice dark metallic color. They're supposed to be dark gray anyhow, so I figured why not just paint them in steel. So I did. And here's the top of the intakes. Okay, you can see it's a nice metallic color. I like how that turned out, so I'm not going to mess with that anymore. I'm pausing the camera. Mom's on the phone. Sorry everyone, you know, when Mom calls, you answer the phone. So I had to talk to Mom for a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in now. We're going in for one of these long zooms because it's going to be easier for you guys to see what's going on. Okay, maybe a little too much. That's probably perfect right there. Okay, these. Let me put some white behind them because the good solid contrast will be better, I think. Okay, here we go. These were painted with the steel, and then I hit it with some burnt metal effects from All-Clad. I think I darkened it a little too much, but I don't think it's that bad. Under really bright light, it looks like the ends of them are burnt a bit. There's a little too much blue in one spot, but I think it looks good. To me, it looks good. You can see it on the edges that they get darker as you go near the end, and that's what I was going for. Here's the other one under some bright light, and it has the same look to it. It looks like the end's got a little burnt. One of them's got a little too much blue on it, but there's not much I can do about that. Okay. Now from the intakes, and I'm going to get rid of the white paper for this one because this doesn't, well, looks better without the white paper. These, I talked about these yesterday. I overfrosted them. I don't think it matters. They go on here, and the LEDs go behind them. They're keyed, so you only go one way. Okay? I'm about to get the LEDs out and start wiring. One more thing, and I'm going to unzoom this. I know the camera's kind of tilted. I'll fix that in a little bit. I didn't realize it was tilted until I started looking a second ago. We'll put the camera up back my way. It was trying to fall over. That's why it was tilted. I have to remember, you know, heavy camera on crazy angled tripod equals fall. Anyhow, lighting. This takes more than 4 LEDs. I was playing on the internets. Where's those parts? Sworn I had the parts here lined up, ready to go. Yeah, I do. They're just underneath the paper I use to show you guys things. Playing on the internets, and I found something. What we have here is the Ford cockpit, okay? And this piece right here glues into it thusly. Well, I'm not sure which one. Either the straw protrusion or the small one lights up. Okay? One of the two of those lights up. I'm going to have to get out my Battlestar Galactica DVDs and take a look and see if they actually do light up. Because I see some people lighting them up and some people are not. So I think it's an excuse to go get them, turn on the DVD player and start watching. So I'm going to go do that while I work on something else that doesn't matter about that. Okay? I've got to drill some holes in the TIE Fighter and string some fiber. So I can watch and let this sit for a little bit while I do that. Because once that fiber's strung, then I can start with the LED work. And I want to do the LED work on both at the same time. It's just easier that way. Alright everyone, I will be back in a few minutes with the next update. So, be back in a little bit. Show you what I've done. Not a lot of progress to report. I did get watching the old Battlestar Galactica, the first episode. Half the scenes, the Cylons have those lights in the front. Half the scenes, they don't. I don't know if the lights are supposed to be there or not. So I think it's optional whether I do it or not, since it's half there, half not. I'll figure it out when I get there. Let's leave it at that. I tracked down the LEDs I'm going to use on it, and the LEDs I'm going to use on the TIE Fighter. That took a bit of time, being honest. I have some LEDs here that are 5,500 M something. Basically, they're incredibly bright white LEDs. You don't find them very easily. I'm going to use those for the engines, 4 of them. They're not going to light it up all that bright. Not like you see on the TV show. In fact, after looking at the TV show, in order for me to light it up that bright, I'm going to end up melting the back end off, or the light bulbs are right on the tail end and the whole back end is made out of metal. Because they're really, really, really bright. That's not going to happen. So I'm just going to use the brightest LEDs I got. I'm going to put 2 of them in there. I could open it up and put like 8 or 9 of them, but that's getting crazy. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to put 2 on each side. Okay. I'm going to have to put some light block on this, and I'm going to have to refrost them. They got a little damaged, and they're not even, so I'm going to frost it and make it a little bit more even after looking at it. Now, I have done very little assembly work because I was digging through my LED stores looking for the proper LEDs for both the TIE Fighter and the Raider. I've got them all sorted. They're all in their little bins and all ready to go. I also did some repair work on the TIE Fighter because I misdrilled a hole. And it's good. And Guido Hop, you told me the back reactor cover was rotated a little off. It turns out it wasn't that. The part above it was rotated a little off, so it made the reactor cover look like it was rotated. So I pulled the part off the top and fixed it. It shouldn't look that way anymore. Now, back to the Raider, because this is the Raider video, not the TIE Fighter video. I found one tricky part, and that's these wings. I'm going to go ahead and glue them together. There's no LEDs in them. I can put the parts on them that belong on them too. Okay? Yeah, you notice the clamp city here. That's because they don't go together very well. With some clampage and letting it cure and some judicious application of the Tamiya green, it'll be fine. Now I'm going to explain how I glued them together, just in case someone cares. Tamiya orange for the pin joints, Tamiya green for the edges. The orange holds better than the green does, and this is how I clamped them the first time, with some Irwin bar clamps. It doesn't get the seams, however, around the edge. And I'm probably going to putty and fill these seams, but it's going to be minimal putty work. Real simple putty work, because they go together pretty well, pretty smooth. I'm just going to remove the seam line there. One inserts inside the other, and I mistrimmed them a teeny bit, so the putty work will be good. We're not talking hours of putty work either, because again, the seam is very small and very thin. Well, let's hit top corner up here once the camera focuses. Yeah, you can see there isn't a whole lot of seam running right along here. And quite honestly, it probably wouldn't be too visible. But I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Just the kind of guy I am. Alright? So that's the hardest part so far, has been that, figuring out how to light the front. Now, one thing about this, I'm watching, it's DVD quality, it's not Blu-ray. So I still can't tell you whether it's this part that lights up or this part that lights up. I can't tell you which one's which. I'm going to assume that it's this little part because it looks more like a light bulb. And that's the easier part to do lighting on, to be honest with you. I have some fiber optic that's about that size, and I could just run some fiber optic off of it. Cut them off, drill through there with their sizing, and run some fiber sticking out. Yeah, that would be the easiest way to light this. Well, anyhow, I figured out how to light it. I'm good to go. I got to track down a warm white LED because they are warm white and the engines are cool white. The engines are bright blue. So there you go. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to quit ranting. I'm going to get a little bit more work done. It's 7:15. I probably got about 15-20 more minutes. So not much more is going to get done tonight. That is what it is. Okay, talk to you guys later. Well, I just did this just to get an idea of the size of this thing. It's not going to be small. I'm not gluing any parts together. The wings, once you do the clamping method around the outside, and I'll explain what I did, is I took the green, put it along there, clamp, 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 put it along, clamp, clamp, clamp. And that's how I did the clamp. They get really good, solid, and strong. Okay? This thing is not going to be small. Really big. It's going to be hefty too. I can tell that. I don't know if I want to add batteries inside it or on a base, and I'm beginning to think I'm going to put the batteries in the base and put a plug in there so she just sits on the plug. I'll be able to find the center of gravity beforehand too, because I can do an awful lot of assembly before I put the two top halves together. I can put all the stuff on the top and the bottom. Okay? And I've already shown you, I figured out what part of this lights up, and that won't be too hard to fix. So we're going to get that done as well. Looking at the TV show, I'm just going to seal up the cockpit. You know why? You never saw in the TV show. You just didn't. I mean, you saw the inside, but you saw inside looking out. But from the outside, you could never see in. So I'm just going to do it that way. She's not going to be small, that's for sure. Anyhow, I just had to do a quick test fit and see how it looks. I'm liking it. I'll be back later. This camera, it's going to be the life of me. I just did a 5-10 minute video without recording a thing. Talking about the wings. So we're going to start over on the wings. This one's done. There are 3 parts to it. The top bottom half of the wing and this inserted part right here. Okay? Take a little care and it'll mate up on there fairly well. I can see I've got to fix a teeny bit of an edge on it, but not much, and I mean really not much. This wing is easy. This wing, there's 3 extra parts other than the top and bottom half of the wing. I've already put 2 of them together, and I put one together on the last segment that didn't record. I have to learn to check for the recording light. Okay? And this is the troublesome wing because the parts are kind of not really clear on the directions. Okay? This part right here, I forget what part it is. I think it's part 40. It has 2 little nubs on the outside end of it when you clip it from the sprue, but they're not supposed to be there when you install it. The nubs are not shown in the directions, so just giving you a heads up on that. This part inside here went in just fine. It was the easy part. It's flush, it's everything. This part here fits very tight, so if you test fit, you're going to have to pry it back out. The part that was really tricky to figure out was this guy. I don't remember which one it is, but he goes on the inside edge right here. Thus, is that right side up or upside down? It's keyed to go only one way. It goes in there like this. The problem is this end of it doesn't fit right and it leaves a gap. and I don't like that, so I'm going to have to do a little sanding and fitting before I'm good with this part, because it leaves too many gaps when it's in there, and I don't want any gaps showing. So just a little tender loving care, and I'm sure it'll be fine. There's pin ejector marks on the back of it, so that might be what's holding it out completely. And BB's working on Bear Guy. Right, BB?
Can I show them?
Yeah, but you can't be on camera.
Okay.
You're ready for bed. They don't need to see you ready for bed.
Okay.
But you can come over here and stick Bear Guy up in front of the camera.
Okay.
Okay? And we're going to make a video on Bear Guy Wednesday.
Okay.
Show everyone all your updates. Okay? Here. Over here. Right there. She's got a face on Bear Guy. He's got his bow on. His ears wiggle. You can wiggle his ears. His mouth opens and closes. Yep. She's working on his paws right now. She's halfway through with the 2 arms. She'll have them finished tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday. And then she just has the 2 legs left. He actually has 4 arms. So she's almost halfway done with the arms. Yes, you can interchange the arms, BB. One's much longer than the other.
Oh.
Okay? Alright, everyone. I'm going to quit. Get this done. I'll come back and show you the end result. Alright, everyone. I sanded the pin marks off the back. I also flattened the alignment pins just a teeny bit, and it fits on there perfect now. So this part right here, so you guys can see it, has a little bit of trouble fitting. Just a little bit of care and it'll fit just fine. So I'm going to glue it on and then show you how it worked. I'm using the good old Tamiya orange for this. I like the orange glue better than the green glue. I know some of you are going to think I'm crazy for that statement, but the orange glue holds much better than the green glue does. Okay, give me a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe 10 count. 1, 2, 3. BB's looking at me like I'm crazy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just holding the part in place, making sure it gets held on. Now you guys can, well, let's get the thing to focus. Now you guys can see the part in there, and you can see that it's fitting down fairly tight. So the 2 wings are done. They're ready for paint, primer. So I'm going to work on the body, and BB's calling me. She wants some help. So I'm going to go over and help BB.
No, I'm done.
You're done? Well, yeah, you need help. So everyone, this is probably the last segment tonight, which means you will see this tomorrow. Talk to you later.